Sometimes the hardest thing for us to do when it comes to looking at our situation is facing the fact that we may have done some things wrong. So in today's video, I really want to have a transparent moment with you to let you know exactly where I've been standing, what I've been facing when it comes to the debt situation that is actually within my personal business. So if you're ready for some transparency and if you're ready for some truth, step on into the room. You ready? Let's go.
The Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone.
Hi, everyone. It's Sophia Melone, the Debt Demolisher, here to bring you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you manage your financial baggage the right way. Welcome back to another day on the Debt Demolisher TV. We are still celebrating. Why? Because the channel has officially reached 1,000 subscribers. I am super excited and super pumped for each and every one of you who has said yes to this channel, for Mr. Tony Gaskins, for all that he has done to help support and grow the channel, and not only believing in me, but believing in what it is that I'm sharing, and also having that anointing to just follow through and just say, hey, help somebody. Thank you so much. In today's episode, what I really want to do is just be transparent and share with you guys where I actually stand in my business. So this video was actually recorded a little over a year ago. This was going through the time where I was trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong in my business? Is this even making sense? Should I continue to do this? Is this really a profitable investment in terms of time, resources, and energy? And so one of the things that I always like to share is that, yes, I've had wins in my debt freedom journey on the personal side. However, in tandem, it may not always be in the same pace on the other side, which is the business. So I want to be transparent. I want to open up to you. And I really hope that this message serves you and blesses you in some form or fashion. I want to remind you guys that this is just a space of transparency. This is a space of where I was a little over a year ago. And I want to invite you back into the room so that you can see the private conversations that I was holding with my private community about a year ago. So if you're ready to get into the truth, you're ready to get into this work, take a listen. All right, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. I was continuing to read this book, Remember You're a Genius Again. I'm telling you guys, this has just been a book that's been absolutely amazing. I'm almost actually done with it. But one of the things that I was doing while I was reading through was just really reflecting on like a lot of my truths and where I stand. And you guys know Saturdays is typically the days that I look at my numbers on both the personal side as well as the business side. And so what came up for me as I was thinking about, my progress in terms of where I stand, in terms of the feelings that I was experiencing over these past couple of months, in terms of whether or not I should shut down operations, should I continue, what do I need to be doing differently? I had to really come back and look at my numbers, really look at my numbers. And so as I was going through my statements today, and I was going through all of the activity that has accumulated so far in my business side, I realized, that there are things that I may not have necessarily have openly shared and let you guys in on, is that, I'm very strong in terms of demolishing the debt on my personal side, but on the business side of things, I'm not experiencing that same success. And here's why. It's because the income isn't necessarily coming in the door on the business side. So I've been spending a whole lot more on the operations in comparison to what's actually coming in, right? And so what that means is year after year, I've actually been operating in a loss in both of my companies. So I've started let me just give you some background. I started two companies back in 2017. So of course, the first one that I started was the financial education company, which is Smash Debt, where I started to actually do all of the coaching and stuff through. And then 2 months after that, I started Sophia Melone LLC, which is a separate entity that I created specifically for my brand and my authorship and my speaking and things of that nature, right? And so when I looked at both of these entities, granted, one of the companies isn't in as much debt as the other company is, but what I realized was that I had to really go back and like look at what was driving up the cost for a lot of the expenses, right? Because for the brand side of things, Sophia Melone, I really didn't have a lot of expenses. I really didn't have a lot of overhead, but that's simply because I haven't published any of my books yet. So I haven't gone through the cost of editing. I haven't gone through the cost of getting graphic designers. I haven't gone through the cost of any of that it actually takes to produce the book. I've only really got into the cost of what it takes to get the training in order to really pull the wisdoms and nuggets out of me in order to write the book. And so a lot of the expenses that I incurred for the Sophia Melone side was training and development related. So when I think about the Sophia Melone entity, which is the brand side, looking at the numbers, this company is not in a lot of debt, right? I only have $316 of credit card debt on that, which I plan to pay off by the ending of this month. But when it comes to the smash debt side, that is where a lot of the expenses come into play because of the systems and the back office things that I have running, the different subscriptions that I have to make sure that, my business is operational, the fees that I'm paying for virtual office space, the fees that I'm paying for licensing, for registration, to keep things up to speed. So it's a lot of things that come into play of operating a business. And when I looked at my numbers, you guys, I looked at my numbers to see like how much debt is my company in. And I look at this stuff all the time, but I feel like it hit me a little bit differently once I kind of really looked at it today, because I'm like, whoa, like it's been 3 years since I've started my company. And I totally understand that you have to put investments in. I totally get that. But the fact that my company right now is in over $18,000 of debt is surprising to me. And it's surprising to me because the amount of efforts that I can take to demolish the debt on the personal side, it's not happening the same way in the business. So I'm hoping that I'm explaining this well, but I want to be as transparent as I can, because one of the things I realize is that sometimes we don't always share exactly what's going on. And people may be thinking, oh, she's able to do all of these things. She's able to do all of these things. Yes, but at the same time, I'm still experiencing challenges as well. So the same way that you may be in debt, I am also in debt, not only on the personal side, but in my business as well. So when I think about the amount of debt that my company is in right now, as well as the planned charges. So I still have charges that's going to occur between now and, let's say, the ending of January. And that's about $954 and some change that's expected to be incurred for additional charges, running my websites, having my domain names, having this, having Zoom, having all of these different platforms and softwares and things that I use to keep my operations afloat. Those charges are recurring, right? And so when I think about what's coming down the pipeline, I'm thinking about this is going to be additional debt that's going to be added on to the debt that's already in place, plus the interest that's being assessed on the debt, the current credit card debt that I already have right now. So when I think about all these things between now and, I want to say, the ending of January 31st, my company is going to be in almost $20,000 of debt, right? And so this was the reason why I was having this toiling moment of saying, should I shut it down? Like, should I just bail my company out? Should I just bail it out and shut it down, right? Because I could, take the money and pay off the debt, but I don't want to do that, right? I want to make sure that
I am operating something that is viable and something that will be able to sustain itself, because that's the whole purpose of starting a business. That's the whole purpose of having a business. It has to be able to sustain itself, and not only that, but generate profits, right? And so when I think about all of these things, and I'm reading this book, and I'm getting all of these different ideas and revelations and things that are coming to me, I realize that I have to face the truth and face the fact of where I am, not only from an internal space, but also from a tangible space with the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. And I feel like it's important for me to be transparent with you guys, just to share that there are struggles on all aspects. There are struggles on all aspects. So if you feel like you have a goal that you want to reach, and you feel like you may feel stuck because you may not be moving in the manner in which you would like to move, as it relates to paying down a specific debt, I just want to tell you that the challenges will be there. I want to tell you that sometimes you just have to face the music and really look at the numbers and really figure out, okay, what can you begin to do differently? What can you begin to do differently? And then ask God for that guidance. That's one of the things that I'm trying to figure out right now. That's why I'm just taking my time to be still and not move so hastily. One of the things that I'm gonna read this real quick that came through in the book. It said, where is it? I circled it. Okay, I got this thing. Got this time, so I'm gonna run over time. But I'm gonna read this real quick, and then I'm gonna go. But it said, gosh, where is it? I would not be able to find it right now. Here you go. He says, I would strongly advise you not to quit things at the spur of the moment with no planning or thought, right? If you are bold enough to leave a situation, be bold enough to plan your exit strategy. And so that stuck with me on tonight, because not necessarily the fact that I may be planning out my exit strategy, but the fact that I was getting ready to make a haste decision, or make a decision because I feel like, this isn't working, right? Because I feel like this isn't working, right? I feel like it's not making sense, right? It's not making financial sense. But when I read this on today, it's causing me to just pause for a minute and just really think through some things, and then, get that guidance and really just seek the wisdom and seek the hearing from God in terms of, what shall I do next? What shall I do next? And I think I said this the other day, but I just wanted to share this with you guys. If you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like, you're in a rock and a hard place, if you feel like, you may not be fully transparent, it's okay. Don't conceal your truth. Tell it. And so I'm being the woman of my word of no longer concealing my truth about where I stand in my business finances, and letting you guys know that the struggle is on all ends, so you're not alone. So we just have to make sure that we're being intentional about how we decide to move forward, and how we are holding conversations and thoughts within ourselves that may cause us to make these rash decisions without necessarily thinking it through just a little bit longer, and taking your time to process through it just a little bit longer. Okay. So as a reminder, your financial prosperity awaits you. I want to wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will see you guys in the group.
All right, guys, so that wraps up my moment of transparency when it actually comes to the status of the finances within my business. I really, really hope that this message served as some form of inspiration to you, some form of encouragement to you, because despite what you may be doing, or despite what wins you may hear, or despite what excitement you may see, I just want you to know that there are struggles on all aspects. I'm excited in this moment. I'm super pumped in this moment because of all of the things that I feel like the Lord has brought me through. I am still working my way out of this situation when it comes to my business. So I'm still in the crux of it. I'm still in the thick of it. But I want you to know that I am continuing to push forward. I'm continuing to do what is necessary in order to crack the code on the business side. You guys know that I did a series specifically on business profits. If you have not seen that series, I'm going to go ahead and link it here so that you can check it out. It was a powerful series where we actually went through the book called Profit First. Now, that series was just amazing in and of itself. I know that I'm still going back and doing the work that was related to the concepts that we covered inside of the book. So if you are a business owner, if you are an aspiring business owner, if you are someone who may be in the same situation as me, not sure what you're doing in your business is racking up a whole lot of debt, I want to encourage you on today, and I want to invite you to get into this Profit First playlist so that way we could all get our businesses and we can all get our financial situations onto a better track that is more profitable and sustainable, so that we can deliver the gift that we deliver to the world on a consistent basis. And not only that, have it to be able to transcend, have it to be able to live on long after we've already departed this earth. So I want to remind you guys that your financial prosperity awaits you, and so does your financial sanity. Make sure that you come back. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next episode. All right, y'all know what to do. Bye.
The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone.